Welcome back YouTube, I have Ahmed again from In-Depth Tech Reviews, and finally iOS 15 is here. This video is much longer than expected because it's a massive update, but if you are excited about iOS 15, grab your popcorn and let's jump in. Now let's talk about Focus. This is the brand new Do Not Disturb mode of iOS 15, but with far more options and customizations. So let's jump right away to Settings and then Focus to show you how it works. It includes a set of predefined focus modes to choose from, or you can add even more by tapping the plus sign at the top right corner. It will give you even more predefined ones, or you can create your own from scratch by choosing Custom. All of them share pretty much the same settings, but there are slight differences between them, which is something I'm gonna go through later. But for now, let's start with the normal Do Not Disturb mode. At the top, you will see People and Apps. Under People, you can allow certain contacts to call or text even if the focus mode is turned on. And you can do this by tapping the plus sign and then choose the contacts you want, then tap on Done. You can also apply further customizations to your selection by tapping on Calls From. By this, you can choose between Everyone, No One, Favorites, or All contacts. In addition to a switch called Allow Repeated Calls, when it's turned on, a second call from the same person within 3 minutes will not be silenced. You need to keep in mind whatever selection you have here will not override whatever contacts you have in the Allowed People section, which means if you have this one set to no one, you will still be able to get calls and text messages from these people. So you can either use both options together to customize your selections, or you can remove whatever contacts you have here and only rely on these 4 options. The second tab we have is called Apps that you can access directly from here, or you can tap on apps from the first page. From here, you can allow calls and notifications from certain apps similar to what we have seen under People by tapping the plus sign and multi-select the apps you want, then tap on Done. But you will see another toggle here called Time Sensitive. Time Sensitive is a new feature in iOS 15 that will allow app developers to declare if their app notifications are time sensitive or not. Which means if the notifications are declared as time sensitive and you have the toggle turned on, these notifications will override your focus mode. So let's go back to the previous page to see what else we have here, and the third one is called Focus Status. In a nutshell, this feature will allow chatting apps to display to people who message you that you have notifications silenced. And here's an example of how this message will look like. It says here this person has notifications silenced, but it will not share the name of your focus, and that's for your privacy. But people can still notify you by tapping on Notify Anyway button that shows under the message, and in this case you will get a normal notification on your phone. The settings I mentioned here will be applied to everyone. But what if you want to adjust your focus status settings for specific people in messages? In this case, you need to open the conversation, tap on the name, and then you will see here Share Focus Status, so you can turn the feature on or off for individual people and override whatever you have under the focus mode. You can also choose to hide alerts, and in this case, even if the person chose to notify you anyway while having your focus mode turned on, you won't get the notification. The Share Focus Status feature is currently working with messages only, but third-party apps can still take advantage of the feature by optimizing their apps for iOS 15. And in this case, if you want to give access to a specific app, go to Settings and then Privacy, then Focus, and the list of supported apps will show right here, so you can turn the switch on or off. So let's go back to Focus Settings to see what else we have here. And the next option is called Home Screen. When you go inside, you can do a couple of things. The first one is to hide notification badges, and you can choose specific home screen pages to show while having this focus mode turned on. And when you tap on the switch, it will show you all the current pages you have. You can choose one or more. I'm gonna choose this one for now to show you how it works, and then I'm gonna activate the focus mode. And when I go to my home screen, this is the only one I have. Next, we have the lock screen options, and the first thing you can do here is to dim the lock screen. And when you turn on the switch while having the focus mode turned on, this is how the lock screen will look like. The second option is to show silenced notifications on lock screen. After that, we have something called Add Schedule or Automation. And when you go inside, you can choose to activate your focus mode based on 4 different things. The first one is called Time, and here you can set a schedule based on the from and to timings and also the days of the week. And when you add the automation, it will appear under the Turn On Automatically section. From here, you can also delete any automation by tapping on it, and then choose Delete Automation, Confirm, and that's pretty much it. The second one we have is called Location, and here you can choose a specific location by searching for it in Maps. like this, for example. Once you choose the location and then tap on done, it will also show up right here. The next one we have is called app. From here, you can choose a specific app to automatically activate the feature. It doesn't support multi-selection, but you can keep doing this to add multiple apps if you want. Last but not least, there's one more option here called the Smart Activation that says automatically turn Do Not Disturb on at relevant times throughout the day based on signals like your location, app usage, and more. And when you tap the plus sign, it will show up right here, but when you go inside, there is nothing to customize. All you can do is to turn on or off or delete the automation. So these are pretty much all the options you get under each focus mode, but there are some exceptions. For example, when you go to driving, you don't have the option to choose apps, you can only choose people. And also there is an option here called auto reply. And when you tap on it, you can create an auto reply message, so it will be sent automatically to any of these categories. There is no home or lock screen options here, and the automation options are also different here. You can activate it automatically based on motion detection when connected to car Bluetooth or manually. You also have the option to activate with CarPlay. You can also delete this focus mode right here, which is something you cannot do under Do Not Disturb. Under Personal, you get the same exact options like in Do Not Disturb, but with the ability to delete the focus. Under Sleep, all the options are exactly the same except the automation options are different. They will be linked to the sleep schedule in your Health app, and that's why you have a button here called Open Sleep in Health. When you tap on it, it will take you right away to the page so you can set your sleep schedule like this. And when you go back to the focus mode settings, you will see your schedule right here. From within the sleep focus settings page, you can edit your next schedule by tapping on edit right here. It will give you the option to edit the timings and also the wake up alarm on or off, some settings for the sounds and haptics. But if you want to edit the sleep schedule for every day, it will take you back again to the Health app. Work is exactly the same as Personal and Do Not Disturb, there is no difference, but we still have other predefined modes under the plus sign like Fitness. So let me add it to show you the differences. The first difference here is a new automation option called Workout, which will automatically turn on the focus mode when you start a session on your Apple Watch or the Fitness Plus app. The second difference is there is no smart activation option here. Under gaming, there is only one difference, which is called wireless controller that will automatically activate the focus mode once you connect a wireless controller to your device. Mindfulness has an automation called Mindfulness, which will automatically activate the focus mode when you start a session in the Mindfulness app. And finally, the reading mode is exactly the same as Do Not Disturb. But if you still want to create your own focus mode, you can tap the plus sign and then choose custom. Here it will ask you for an icon, a color, and name. So I'm gonna call this one test and then tap on next. It will ask you for the people, apps, and then tap on done. It will give you every option we saw under Do Not Disturb, in addition to name and appearance, where you can change the name and the icon later if you want. And by the way, if you deleted any of the predefined focus modes like Fitness, for example, it will show back again under the plus sign. And the last option we have under focus settings is called Share Across Devices. Once you turn on the switch, all the devices signed in with the same Apple ID will automatically activate the same focus mode you have active on this device. That includes your Mac, iPad, and the other iPhones. If you have a focus mode activated, you will see an icon next to the clock that represents the currently active one. You can activate any focus mode from your control center. Here you have the focus tile. When you tap on it, it will show you all the available ones, so you can tap to activate or deactivate. And when you tap on the ellipses next to each one, you will get the option to turn it on for 1 hour, until this evening, or until I leave this location. All of them will show you the same options except for sleep. It will not give you any of these options. From here, you can also quickly create a new focus mode by tapping on the plus sign. And on the lock screen, you will see a small chip under the clock that will represent the currently active focus mode. Tapping on it will show you all of them. And once you turn off the focus mode, all the silenced notifications will appear back again in your notification center. Now let's talk about messages. On iOS 15, when you send or receive a set of 2 or 3 photos, they will be presented in this nice looking collage with the ability to view in full screen. You will also see some new shortcuts at the bottom that didn't exist before, like tap backs, reply to individual photos, and download. If the image is already saved to your photos, the download button will turn into blue. And when you tap on it again, it will give you the option to view in gallery or save a duplicate. When you go back to the conversation, the tap backs will adapt nicely with the new design, and you will also be able to download the whole set of photos using the new download button. And in case some of these photos already saved, you will get the option to only save the rest to avoid any duplicates in your gallery. But the new design doesn't stop here. If the set is more than 3 photos, they will be presented in a scrollable stack, which you can view its photos either in full screen or in a grid view by tapping the grid button at the top right corner. And you can also jump to the grid view from the conversation by tapping on the photos count. And there is a new FaceTime shortcut at the top right corner that didn't exist before. Tapping on it will allow you to initiate a FaceTime audio or video call. When you tap and hold on text messages, iOS 15 will give you the option to translate the text on the fly, with the ability to play the original or translated text and more. Another neat feature in Messages is the ability to scrub through your voice messages, which wasn't the case before. To do this, force touch on your voice message, then tap on the preview window. The message will be played in full screen with the progress bar at the bottom, so you can drag your finger to seek forward or backward. Messages will also allow you to pin individual content from within your conversation. The feature applies to links, shared locations, music, TV shows, articles, and more. But you won't be able to pin photos or text messages. To pin an item, all you need to do is to force touch on it and choose pin. The item will be flagged with a small yellow pin at the bottom right corner, and by this, when you search for anything in your Messages app, all the pinned items will show under a new category called Pins. Back to the conversation, and now when you tap on the contact name at the top, it will take you right away to the info page instead of tapping twice like in iOS 14. You will also see new options like Show in Shared with You and Share Focus Status, which will allow you to turn off both features for specific contacts without impacting the rest. And finally, there is a new section for your pinned items. Now let's talk about the Shared with You feature. Under Settings, Messages, then Shared with You, you will be able to activate the feature and choose which apps to link it with. It supports Apple Music, TV, Safari, Photos, podcasts, and news. In a nutshell, if someone sent you items related to any of the previously mentioned apps, these items will show under a new Shared with You section in each app. For instance, when you open Photos then go to the For You tab, you will see the Shared with You section, which includes all the photos you received in Messages with the name of the sharing contact showing under each one. Tapping the contact name will allow you to directly reply to the photo without the need to go to Messages. The contact name will also show at the top in full screen view and in the info pane. In Safari, the Shared with You section is available in the Start page with the ability to reply as well. And when you open the link, you will see the contact name at the top so you can reply or dismiss it using the X. These are just a couple of examples, and the same applies to the rest of the apps. But what if you don't want each and everything you receive from a specific contact to appear under the Shared with You section, and you prefer to pick the stuff yourself? In this case, open the conversation, tap the contact name, and turn off the Show in Shared with You option. By this, only the pinned items will appear in your apps as noted in the description. Or you can simply turn off the feature for all or some apps by going to Settings, Messages, Shared with You, like I showed you earlier. Now let's talk about the Memoji, and it got plenty of new styling options. The first one is under Hairstyle. Now you can add highlights with the ability to change the color, the tone, and the look. Under Eyes, you can adjust the color of each one separately, like this. Under Eyewear, you will see 3 new shapes: star, heart, and retro shapes, with the ability to change the frame color and the lenses. Under Headwear, you can choose up to 3 different colors for the same item to better match your favorite sports team, artist, and more. Under Nose, you can add oxygen tube, and under Headwear, you can add the soft helmet. Under Ears, you can add cochlear implant, and there is a brand new category called clothing that doesn't exist in iOS 14, and from here you can choose between 40 different outfits and also adjust their colors. You will also find brand new Memoji stickers like the Shaka sign, heart, hand wave, light bulb moment, and more. Now let's talk about 2 image recognition features in iOS 15. They are Live Text and Visual Lookup. Live Text will allow you to copy text using your phone's camera or from any photos or screenshots you have saved in your gallery. So let me show you how it works in the camera app. All you need to do is to open the camera and point it towards any text. In my case, I have here a business card, and you can immediately see it's now highlighting the text in my business card, and there is also a small text button appearing at the bottom right corner that I can tap on. Once I tap on this button, it will take a snapshot from the business card, giving me the option to copy the text or do other actions as well. So for example, if I want to copy the text only, I can simply use the normal text selector as if you are in any app and then tap on the copy button. Or you can also tap on other fields like email addresses. So the feature is smart enough to know if it's an email, it's a website, and so on. So when I tap on the email address right here, it will open a brand new email message so I can start sending. And I'm gonna paste the text I copied from the card as well. So this is how it works in the camera, but it doesn't only recognize text and email addresses, it can also work with phone numbers. So here's another piece of paper that includes some phone numbers. And when I tap on the phone number, it will ask me if I want to send a message, add to contacts, or copy. And it also works with handwritten text. So here's a piece of text I wrote myself. So let's give it a try. So now the text is ready. So I'm going to select everything and then copy, go to my email and paste the text right here. And as you see, it says this is a handwritten text to test iOS 15 live text feature. And that's exactly the same thing I copied from my image. You also have the ability to share the text, translate it to a different language. So for example, you can translate to Spanish, Arabic, whatever language you want. And this is how it works. You can access live text from the Photos app if you have any screenshot or image that includes text like this one, for example. All you need to do is to tap and hold and do your selection. The other way is to tap on the small text icon at the bottom right corner. When you tap on it, it will highlight the text for you, which will give you a better selection experience. Live text is also accessible from anywhere on your phone. So for example, if you are in Safari and you want to copy a web address from a piece of paper, all you need to do is to double tap the text field and you will get the live text icon. Tap on it and the camera will show up right here. So I'm gonna point it towards the website on this business card, like this. And the website is inserted. I'm gonna tap on insert and hit go, and that's how easy it works. So you can use the same feature to copy text directly from your notebook to the Notes app, for example, and so on. The second visual recognition feature in iOS 15 is called the Visual Lookup. This feature can help you identify things like landmarks, pets, flowers and plants, books, and more. This feature doesn't work directly from the camera like live text, but it's accessible from the Photos app. So if you have anything recognizable in the image, you will see two small stars on top of the info button to let you know that there is something identifiable here. And once you swipe up like this, you will see the option to look up this plant online, and you will also see a small floating icon right here that looks like a plant. You can tap on this one and start seeing the results. It will tell you the name of the flower and show you also similar images, or you can simply use the other way at the bottom. And the icon will change depends on the subject. So for example, here's a dog, and when I swipe up, now I have a different icon, and I can do the same. And here's how it works with landmarks. You will get a small map icon at the bottom right corner instead of being in the center, and when you tap on it, you will get information about the landmark. And if the landmark is located in your city or country, you might get the directions from here. When you tap on Lookup Landmark, here I have the directions. Tapping on it will open a page from Apple Maps with all the information I need. Now let's talk about what's new in the Photos app. I already covered live text, visual lookup, and also the shared with you feature. So now I'm gonna talk about the rest of the changes. The first thing is in the home page. Now when you tap on the More button, instead of getting this card, you will get an overlay menu. First, the items are organized differently. So for example, the zoom in and out are now next to each other in the new version. Also, the aspect ratio grid has been renamed to aspect only. And you will see two new menu items. One is called Your Photos Only and the second is called Yours and Shared. And that's because of the new Shared with You feature. Now you can choose to view your photos only or everything. When you go to filters, you will see a better filters screen with icons for each and every item, which wasn't the case before. Let's go back to the menu. And now when you tap on Show Map, you will see a better map due to the new version of Apple Maps. When you go to the days view on both versions, now the dates are presented differently. Instead of 15th of March, it will be March 15th. In the month view, when you tap on the ellipses, you will get an overlay menu instead of this card like we saw under all photos. Now let's open one of the photos to see what else we have here. First, you will see a new info button at the bottom that didn't exist before. This one will allow you to access the info pane directly in addition to the normal swipe up like in iOS 14. The info pane itself got a lot of new features that didn't exist before. First, you can tell the date and time, the file name, the name of the camera, the file format, how many megapixels is the photo, and its size. You can also get more information about the camera itself like the ISO, the shutter speed, and focal length. The Maps card is also different. First, it's smaller on iOS 15. You will no longer see the word places on top of it, plus the map itself is zoomed out to give you a better idea about the location. The nearby photos button has been removed because you can simply tap on the map itself to get the nearby photos, and you can also do this on iOS 14, so that's why this button is just a redundant option. And when you take a look at the location name on iOS 15, it will only show you the city instead of the city and the country like iOS 14, but anyways, both will take you to the Maps application as normal. So let's go back to Photos. You will also notice that the Photos shelf is no longer showing in the info pane and you can only view it in the normal full screen view. Next, you will see two new adjust buttons next to the date and time and location. When you tap on the first one, it will give you a calendar and a time picker to change the date and time of the photo, and it will also show you at the top the original date and time and the adjusted one. As an example, I will change the date and time. I will make it the 22nd of March and change the time to 12:55 and keep the time zone as it is. And I can tap on the button. Now everything is different here in the info pane. But you don't need to worry because you can tap on adjust again and revert back to the original one, and that means iOS 15 will always save your original date and time. So let's tap on revert and everything is back to normal. Same happens with the location. When you tap on adjust, it will allow you to do a search. So I'm gonna do a quick search here. So I'm gonna choose Dubai Mall as an example. So now the location is different. I still can revert back to the original location as we saw in the date and time. When I tap on adjust again, I have the option to revert. But there is one more thing we can do with the location that we didn't see in the date and time, which is the ability to remove the location entirely by tapping on no location, and now the map will disappear. You still can tap on add location and revert back to the original one if you want. And by the way, the two adjust options are also accessible from the share sheet. You will see here adjust date and time and adjust location. Now let's open a photo of people to show you other differences in the info pane. First, there is no separate section for people in the info pane. Instead, they appear at the bottom left corner of the photo with much smaller thumbnails. When you tap on a person in iOS 14, it will simply take you to the photos of that person with the ability to review the photos to help the AI identify the face better in the future. But in iOS 15, it will give you all the options you need in an overlay menu. First, you will get the option to view all photos of that person, similar to iOS 14. The second option is to review the confirmed photos, which will take you to this page. And that's the same one we have on iOS 14, but the title is slightly different. The third option is called feature list that you can use to hide this person from your memories. The last one is called this is not Ahmed, which is me. So if you think that this is the wrong person, use this option and then give a different name. You will also notice a small blue question mark next to one of the faces I have, which means the AI doesn't know who's that person, which is something you cannot tell on iOS 14 because there is no indicator on the face. And when I go inside, as you see here, I don't have a name that I can set later. But on iOS 15, when I tap on the same person, now I can tag with name directly from here, which is much easier than before, and it will also give you a hint that this person is not identified. And you still get the option to feature list and see all photos. Another important piece of information that will show in the info pane of iOS 15 is the name of the app that saved this photo to your gallery, which is missing from iOS 14 as well. This is similar to what we have seen with the shared with you feature, but instead of showing you the contact name, it will show you the app name. And it works with each and every app I tried it with. So here are some photos I sent myself in WhatsApp, and I'm getting the same thing. Now when you tap on the app name, it will take you right away to the search with the app name already populated at the top, and you can see all the photos from this app. There is also a small glyph next to the app name that looks like the App Store icon to give you a hint that you are searching for an app. Also keep in mind that searching app names in iOS 14 is not possible, so when I type here WhatsApp, you will only see the WhatsApp album with the glyph on the left, but when I do the same on iOS 15, I will get two results, the app and the album. This feature is very useful because some apps doesn't create albums in your gallery, and in this case it will be so hard for you to locate their photos, but this issue has been sorted in iOS 15. Talking about the search, there is another powerful feature that can help you locate photos by searching with the phone name that took the photo. So for example, here I have a photo from my Google Pixel 3 XL, and when I type the word Google, here I have the camera icon and the name of my phone, and that will be very useful as well. Under search, you will also see better looking maps. And when you scroll all the way down, you will see a new section called recently searched that will include your history that you can clear using this button. And in some cases, when you tap on one of the categories, it will give you more suggestions to refine your search, like this. And now with iOS 15, you can search photos using your voice by tapping the mic icon at the top. When you open a live photo now, you can change the effect using the overlay menu at the top, and instead of swiping up to change it from the info pane. On iOS 15, the print feature got some changes, so let me start it on both. The first option is to change the paper size, and you have plenty of options here, and with every change, the thumbnail will show you a preview. And if you don't have a printer selected, you still can tap on print to save the current photo as a PDF document. You will also see a new image picker in iOS 15, and instead of scrolling horizontally, now you can scroll vertically. Here it will take you right away to all photos instead of recent photos like iOS 15, and the all photos button is no longer showing because now you can expand to access all photos right away. The image picker is no longer filling the entire screen, and it has a handle here so you can minimize and maximize, which is not the case with iOS 14. You can see the app name and the icon at the top. Also, the cancel button has been replaced with clear. So for example, if you have multi-selection, you can tap on clear instead of tapping on cancel, which will minimize the whole window. And because the cancel button has been removed, now you have an X at the top right corner. Tapping on it will close the window completely instead of just minimizing like iOS 14. The small hint at the top that says select up to 20 items is no longer showing, but still the same restriction applies. On iOS 15, you can share your images in order, and every time you make a selection, you will see a number on the photo. In contrast, iOS 14 will show you a bar at the bottom says select items, which doesn't exist here. Also, when you do a multi-selection, you get a tick sign and the number of photos selected, which is no longer needed here because you can see the number of the photo on the photo itself. Also, iOS 15 no longer has the show selected feature that will show you the selected items in full screen. And here you can find the deselect all button, which is the same thing as clear on iOS 15, but this one is hidden. You can also search for photos in the image picker using your voice, similar to the app. Now let's talk about editing photos. So I'm gonna tap on edit on both versions. First, the ellipsis button has been replaced with markup because all you get here is the markup option, so there is no point to have it like this. You will also notice that the top bar is no longer dark and it matches the one at the bottom. And when you tap on the plus sign, you will see a new option here called description. The description added here will be read by the voiceover feature. So if you're going to send this photo to someone who uses voiceover, that will be very useful. So let's go back to the edit screen. And you will also see a new crop icon here on iOS 15. And when you go inside crop and then tap on the aspect ratio button, you will see a new size here called 4:5, which is the same one as 8:10. But the numbers are different. Now let's move on to albums. And you will see a change here under people and places. The thumbnails are now circular instead of square shapes. And when you go inside, you will see the same difference. And if you have a person added as your favorite, you will see a new heart icon. And also the name of each person is written under the photo instead of being on the photo itself. Also, the map look different to match the new version of Apple Maps. When you open an album and then open one of the photos and swipe up to access the info pane, you will see a new show in all photos button. One more feature under albums is the ability to create a memory from your album in a second. And you can do this by tapping the ellipsis icon at the top right corner, and you will find an option here called Play Memory Movie, which doesn't exist on iOS 14. Tapping on it will create a new memory in just a second with the same new design of iOS 15. Now let's talk about memories, and this is one of the things that got a complete revamp in iOS 15. Starting with the memory title on iOS 14, they always use the same font and placement, while on iOS 15 you will get a different font and also a different placement to match your memory style. At the top right corner you will see two new buttons, one to quickly add the memory to your favorites, and the ellipsis button include things like edit title, feature list, and delete memory. On iOS 14 to do the same, you have to haptic touch on the memory first and you will get pretty much the same options but with different wording. In contrast, the haptic touch on iOS 15 is no longer available for memories. And when you tap on both, you will see two different behaviors. iOS 14 will show you the photos and the video at the top and you can play the memory if you want, while here, when you tap, it will play the memory right away. And there are a lot of other differences when it comes to the playback screen. First, you can swipe left and right to jump between photos, and when you tap on the memory you will get the photos shelf here at the bottom. When you slide your finger on top of it, it will change the photos. You can also tap on any photo you want like this, and by the way, all the actions I'm doing will not stop the music from playing. In contrast, when you play the memory on iOS 14, there is no option to swipe through the photos. All you get is a video-like interface to drag your finger on the progress bar to jump to a specific spot. There is no option to tap, and with every action you take, the music stops. Another feature on iOS 15, when the memory ends playing, you will get a new Watch Next interface. It will simply show you the upcoming memory with a counter that starts at 9 seconds. From here you can replay the current widget, add to your favorites, or share. You can also view the photos in your memory in a grid view by tapping on it and then tap the grid button. It will show you all the photos in this full screen grid view, and you can jump to any one by tapping on it. On iOS 14 there is no full screen view. You will only get this view at the bottom, and there is no option also to pinch to zoom. Now let's talk about the memory style. On iOS 15 you will get predefined ones. It will automatically create the transitions and choose the soundtrack for you. You have nothing to do here, but on iOS 15 it's a lot more customizable and advanced. To edit the memory, tap on it and you will see this music button at the bottom left corner, and when you go inside you will see this editing screen. The memory will keep playing so you can see what's going on, and from here you can add your own music by tapping this music icon. It will give you a screen from Apple Music. From here you can choose between the suggested ones or search for whatever song you want. Based on your choice, the memory will automatically change the filters, the pace, and the transitions to match your soundtrack mood. So I'm gonna choose any one from the list and tap on done. As you see here now it says custom, which is my own style, and the new song name. You can also change the memory look by tapping on this button. You will get 12 different looks, or in other words, they are filters that will change the colors of your memory. So I'm gonna choose the black and white film as an example and then tap on done. So here's how my memory looks like right now. So this is how you create your own style, but you still can choose between different memory mixes automatically created for you by the AI. A memory mix is simply a mix between a different soundtrack, different filters, and also some different transitions. And once you are happy with the choice, tap on the memory to go back to full screen, and that will be your default memory mix. And when you tap the ellipsis button while in full screen mode, you will get more options like manage photos, so you can select or deselect, add more if there is any available. You can also change the key photo, edit the title, hide the photo from your memory, make it short, or medium. All the options I mentioned here are already available on iOS 14, like make it short or medium. When you tap on edit, you can edit the title, image, photos and videos, music and more. But the only thing new here is the AirPlay. Now you can AirPlay your memories on any screen if you want. One more thing worth mentioning here, sometimes when you share a memory, you will get this message that says this song is not shareable, which means it includes a soundtrack that you cannot share for copyright purposes. And in this case, you can tap on choose shareable soundtrack and it will show you the list. Choose whatever you want, then share your memory. Now let's talk about the new Apple ID and the iCloud features. The first change is under your Apple ID settings page. Now you can see your current iCloud storage plan on the front page. And when you go inside, you will see it's now called iCloud Plus instead of iCloud. Under iCloud Backup, now you have the option to backup over cellular, which wasn't the case before. Mail has been renamed to iCloud Mail, and the keychain, iCloud Backup, and the iCloud Drive has been moved towards the top instead of being near the bottom. Now let's talk about some exclusive features to iOS 15, and the first one is called Private Relay. Private Relay is a new iCloud feature that hides your IP address, so by this no one can tell, including Apple, who you are or what websites you are visiting. Unfortunately, Private Relay is not functional in the UE, and that's why I have this message saying Private Relay is turned off for my Wi-Fi network. So it depends on where you live. Anyways, let's take a look at the first option here. It's called IP address location, and here you have two different choices. The first one is called Maintain General Location. This one will allow websites in Safari to provide local content based on your current location without knowing who you are or what your interests. You can even make it more private by choosing Use Country and Time Zone. By this, it will give a broader IP address location in your country and time zone. But keep in mind, both options will impact the type of content suggested to you from websites due to the less information they know about you, so you might see some irrelevant stuff while browsing the internet. Private Relay can be activated for your Wi-Fi only, cellular only, or both. To do this, you need to go to your Wi-Fi settings and then tap the information icon next to your current network, and you will see here a switch called iCloud Private Relay, which is exactly the case under cellular. So that's pretty much it when it comes to Private Relay. The other thing we have is a switch to turn the feature on or off. The second feature, which is my favorite, it's called Hide My Email. It will allow you to generate random emails to use for signing up to newsletters or third-party websites without the need to share your real email. To create a new address, tap on the plus sign at the top, and it will automatically generate a random email at iCloud.com. And if you think you need a better email, you can tap on Use Different Address and it will regenerate another one. Next, you will get the option to label your address to memorize what is it for. In my case, I will call it test. And after that, you have an optional note field, so you can add extra information if you want. So I'm gonna keep this one blank for now and tap on next. And now it's all set. Once you tap on done, you will see it right here in the list of emails you have. Now you can choose which email address to forward the messages to. So for example, if someone sent a message to any of those two emails, you will be able to receive them in your real inbox. And this can be set under the forward to option. It will give you the option to choose your primary Apple ID email or any other alternative email you added to your account under settings. So I'm going to choose my other email in this case and tap on done. When you tap on any of them, you will be able to see the generated email address in addition to which email the messages will be forwarded to, but unfortunately you will not be able to change that individually. Whatever you have here will be applied to all addresses. You can also edit your label or note and deactivate the email address in case you started to get spam emails or you no longer need it. When you deactivate an email address, it won't be deleted entirely. However, it will appear under a new list called Inactive Addresses under the Hide My Email settings page. From here, you can choose to reactivate the email again or delete it entirely from here. The third iCloud feature is called iCloud Data Recovery Service that you can locate under your Apple ID settings, then password and security, then account recovery, and you will see iCloud Data Recovery Service. This service will allow you to get access to your iCloud data again in case you lost your account password or your device passcode. And this can be done using two different methods. The first one is called Add Recovery Contact, and when you tap on it, it will explain to you that you need to choose someone you trust, and this person will help you get access back to your account. But there are a couple of rules here. First, this person must be at least 13 years old and have an Apple device. The recovery contact can't access your data but can help you recover all of it and get back into your account. If you forgot your account password or device passcode, you will need to reach out to your recovery contact for help. So let's tap on Add Recovery Contact to see how it works. First, you need to authenticate using your Face ID, and if it failed, it will ask you for the account password. Once done, it will show you whatever contacts you have under your family sharing, so you can choose any of them or choose someone else by tapping on this button. Here you need to enter the Apple ID of that person, but in my case, I will go back to the family sharing contacts and choose the first one, then tap on Next. The service will automatically create a message to let the other person know that he or she has been chosen by you as a recovery contact, so you can choose this automated message and tap on Send or tap on Edit Message to create your own. In my case, I will use the automated one. Once you tap on Send, it will confirm that the recovery contact has been added, so tap on Done. And here's how the message will look like on the recipient's device, but unfortunately it doesn't work for now, even though I'm running iOS 15 on my iPhone XR. The other option to regain access to your iCloud data is by using a recovery key. Tapping on it will load for a few seconds and then you will get the switch. Tapping on it will show you a confirmation message saying if you lose your account recovery key and can't access your devices, Apple won't be able to help you regain access to your account or your data. If you are happy with the rule, you can simply tap on Use Recovery Key. Then it will ask you for your passcode. Once done, your recovery key will appear on the screen. It will ask you to write down your recovery key and keep it in a safe place so you always have access to your Apple ID. Once you tap on Continue, it will ask you for the recovery key again to confirm that you want to activate the feature. Once you enter the recovery key and tap on Next, it will be activated. At this point, if you canceled everything, the feature won't be activated. But there are two important points about the iCloud data recovery service that you need to know about. It says the service requires Apple to maintain access to your data to help you recover it. And the second point says Apple can't access or help you recover your end-to-end encrypted information, such as keychain, screen time, and health data. But you will be able to view your photos, notes, reminders, and the other files on the web at iCloud.com without requesting access from your Apple device. So this is how the iCloud data recovery service works. There are other iCloud Plus features coming with iOS 15 that I won't be able to show you in this video. The first one is the enhanced HomeKit Secure Video. This feature will allow more security cameras per iCloud plan to record continuously and save the footage to iCloud without counting against your storage. The 50 GB plan will get one camera instead of none like before. The 200 will get 5 cameras instead of 1. And the 2 TB will get unlimited instead of 5. The second one is the ability to use your custom domain with iCloud Mail, which means you will be able to send and receive emails from your custom domain using iCloud Mail, with the ability to share the same domain name with your family members if you have family sharing activated. But to be able to do this, you have to purchase your own custom domain from any email provider and then link it with your iCloud Mail, because Apple doesn't provide domain names. Now let's talk about Safari, and the first change is the bottom navigation bar, and when you start scrolling, it will be minimized like this. To expand it back again, you can scroll back up, or you can simply tap on the bar at the bottom. That's exactly the same behavior on iOS 14, but the placement is different. But what's better here is the ability to swipe on the nav bar to switch between tabs, which is something you cannot do on iOS 14. And when you swipe all the way to the right, it will open a new tab. It also supports voice search, so you can use it to say your search query or the website name. The bottom navigation bar is a lot more reachable than the one at the top, and when you start typing, it will appear right on top of your keyboard, which is also easier to make any edits in case you made a mistake in your search query. You will also notice that once I typed apple.com, now I can open it in the current tab or in one of my open tab groups. Tab groups is a new feature in Safari that I'm going to talk about later, but I just wanted to show you that you can do this from your navigation bar. In contrast, iOS 14 won't show you this option. And by the way, you can revert back to the top navigation bar like iOS 14 by tapping the text icon, and you will see here an option called Show Top Address Bar. When you tap on it, it will move back again to the top. And despite having a reload button on the navigation bar on both versions, but on iOS 15 now you can pull down to refresh the page, which wasn't the case before. Now let's talk about the new tab groups feature of iOS 15. When you switch to the tabs page, you will see everything is in a grid view instead of having this stack, which makes it harder to see what you have open. And it will also show you how many tabs you have open. Most of the buttons and gestures we have on iOS 14 are still there. So for example, when you tap and hold on the plus button, you still can get the recently closed tabs. You can swipe to the left to close any tab like this. We still have the same X button on top of each tab, and the done button is still here as well. And you will be able to reorganize your tabs by using the drag and drop feature, which is also the same on iOS 14. But what's different here is this new button. Tapping on it will show you more options. This window will help you organize all your tabs in one place. The first item will show you how many tabs you have open, and they are not related to any tab group. From here, you can open a new private window, which is the same option we have here on iOS 14. And after that, you will start to see any tab group you have created. So for example, here I have one, I named it My Tabs, and when I go to it, here it says the name at the bottom, and I can switch back to the currently open tabs by using the same window. Now let's see how to create a new tab group. Here you have two options, either to create an empty one or create one from the currently open tabs. Starting with the first option, it will first ask you for a name. So I'm gonna call it My Tabs 2 and then hit save. The group automatically created with the start page of Safari, and here's the name of my new tab group. I can start adding new tabs like this, go back again, add a new one, and so on and so forth. And it works exactly the same when you try to create a new group from the currently open tabs. You have to go to them first and then tap on new tab group and give it a name and hit save. Now we have 3 new tab groups created, so let's see how we can organize things. The first thing you can do is to use haptic touch, and it will give you the option to move this tab to another group. Here you will see the full list of groups you have, so you can choose one, or you can simply add it to the start page without linking it to any tab group. Or you can create a new tab group from this tab, and in this case it will ask you for the name again. So let's cancel this for now and go back again to the same window. At the top left corner you will see this edit button that will allow you to reorganize your tab groups the way you want using this handle on the right side. When you tap on the ellipses, you will get the option to delete the group, rename it, or copy all the links open in this group. Haptic touch will give you the same 3 options in addition to the list of open tabs in this group. Haptic touch works the same way in the edit mode and normal mode as well. I do really like the option to copy all links at once, and it will do it in a very nice way, so let me show you this. So once I paste the copied links, you can see the title of each website, and the title is a hyperlink, so you can jump right away to this web page. It will give you the name of the tab group, and it will also create bullet points, so it's very neat. It's also worth mentioning that all your tab groups will sync across all your devices if you are signed in with the same Apple ID. This new feature will also give you the ability to search for tabs in your group. So for example, if you have tons of tabs open, you can use the search at the top and start locating the web page you want. iOS 14 can also search for tabs, but the feature is kinda hidden. So for example, when you type the same website name you already have open, it will give you here an option called the switch to tab instead of opening a new one. But it's definitely more obvious on iOS 15. From this page, you can also sort your tabs. When you haptic touch on any of the tabs you have open, you will see an option here called Arrange Tabs By, and when you tap on it, it will give you an option to arrange tabs by title or by website name. So let's try to arrange tabs by the website name to see how it works. And as you see, everything got reorganized. You can also add all tabs to your bookmarks at once. And it says here, add bookmarks for 5 tabs. I do have 6 open, but the start page doesn't count. That's why I'm getting only 5. So let's tap on it to see how it works. It will take you straight away to create a new folder, and it will ask you for the name. So instead of adding them to your normal bookmarks list, it will create a folder to keep things organized. So I'm gonna tap on save to add them to my bookmarks list. You can also copy the link from here or close other tabs, which is a really nice touch, because if you want to keep only one tab, this option will make it a lot easier for you instead of swiping on each and every one. Now we understand how the new tab groups feature works, so let's go back to the navigation bar because it can also help you organize your tabs. When you haptic touch on the navigation bar, you will get the option to move to tab group. So if you want to move this link, you can do it directly from here. You don't need to go to the grid view first. You will also notice that the overlay menu looks totally different compared to iOS 14. When I do a haptic touch on iOS 14, I'm getting only 2 options, which is copy, paste and go. But here I have the same 2 options in addition to voice search and the ability to move to tab groups, and it looks much better and easier to navigate. Now let me show you the new customizable start page of Safari. When you open a new page on iOS 14, all you get is your favorites and the frequently visited websites, and you have nothing else to do here. But now you can customize this page yourself. When you scroll all the way down, you will see an edit button. When you go inside, you will get plenty of options. First, you can add a background. You can turn the feature on or off from here. You can choose from the predefined backgrounds or add one from your gallery if you want. So I'm gonna pick this one as an example, and then go back to the start page. As you see, it looks much better now. So let's go back to edit, and I will turn off the background image for now to be less distracting, and let's take a look at the options we have here. You can add your favorites, frequently visited websites, shared with you section that I showed you in the messages chapter, privacy report, Siri suggestions, reading list, and iCloud tabs. You can also reorder your sections by using this handle on the right side. And the best part is you can sync your start page across all your devices so you don't have to do the same thing over and over again. It's also worth mentioning that the new start page will show your bookmark folders. Here's the folder I created from my tab group and I can see it from here, which is something you cannot do on iOS 14 as well. When you go to bookmarks, I have a folder here that include one tab, but I cannot see this folder on my start page. And with the help of haptic touch, you will get a lot of options, like for example, copy all the links at once, open in new tabs, open in tab group, and here you can choose from the current ones or create a new one if you want. You can also edit the folder name, share contents, and in this case it will share all links in one message, or finally delete the folder as well. It's also worth mentioning that haptic touch on the tabs button will give you the ability to jump to your tab groups and move this current page to another tab group. Safari also got two new big additions. Now when you go to settings and then Safari and scroll down a little bit, you will see extensions. Tapping on it will take you to the more extensions button. And here you have a separate page in App Store to download extensions and increase the functionality of your browser. Currently, most of them are ad blockers and privacy-related extensions, but I'm sure in the future we will see some cool stuff. So I will download one of the extensions as an example here. So I'm gonna tap on Roadblock. So after installing Roadblock, now it shows under extensions and I can turn it on or off. So this is how Safari extensions work. Now let's talk about the second one, which is called Tracking Prevention or Private Relay. Private Relay is a feature in iCloud Plus that I already talked about in iCloud chapter, but if you want to know more about it, you can see it here under the privacy report. It will give you an idea about the feature and you can tap on Show More and it will tell you how it works. In a nutshell, it will hide your IP address so no one else can track you or see your browsing history. But keep in mind the feature is currently in beta and it might not work properly with each and every website. Now let's talk about notes, and the first change is the support for hashtags to organize and filter your notes. So for example, I will create a test note here, and when I type a hashtag like the word Apple, you will notice here once I hit the spacebar, the word Apple now has a different color because the Notes app can now recognize your hashtags. Of course, you can add as many tags as you want in the same note. So here I added 2 extra tags in addition to some text. And when I go back to my notes and then go back to folders, you will notice this new section which is called tags. Here you will be able to see all the tags you have in your notes. And this will be very useful because when you tap in any one of them, it will directly take you to the notes that include this one. You can also choose multiple from the filters at the top, and the notes will keep changing based on your selection. Or you can choose all tags and view everything at once. Now let me show you a very nice trick. Let's say you want to create a new note using one or more of these tags. All you need to do is to select the tags you want like this, and then tap on the new note button. And by this, it will create a new note with the same tags you selected before. The tags feature also support what it's called custom smart folders. So when you go to the folders page and then create a new one, you will see a new option here called new smart folder. Tapping on it will ask you for the folder name. So I'm going to call it Mac this time. And here it shows you all the tags you have in your notes. In my case, I will choose Mac and the Mac OS. I can also create a new tag if I want, but I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Then I'm gonna tap on done. The Mac folder is now created and you will notice there is one note already added to it without me doing anything. And when I go inside, I will see my note includes the same 2 tags I selected while creating the folder, which are macOS and Mac. So you can keep doing this to organize all your notes the way you want. There is one important thing worth mentioning here. When I created the smart folder, I chose 2 tags, Mac and the macOS. Now I created another note using only one of them, which is Mac. When I return back to my folders page and then go to the Mac folder, I still have only one note. And that's because my note should include at least the same hashtags I selected while creating the folder to be included. But you still can add more tags to the note if you want, and it will still be included, like in this case. Here I have the macOS and the Mac tags in addition to Apple, but still I have the note here in my Mac folder. Now let's talk about the collaborative notes, and there are 3 new additions. Here I have another phone that I will use for this purpose, but it's running iOS 14. And I will make some some edits on both sides to show you what's new. And the first change is the new highlights feature. When you swipe right, you will be able to tell the name of the person who did the edits, at what time, and it will also use color coding to help you spot the changes easily. The second change is called Activity View, which will give you a summary about all the updates that took place in the shared note while you were away. And to access the Activity View, tap the ellipses at the top right corner, and here it says Show Note Activity. It will show you all the activities that took place per day. So for example, here I have today, but if I went back to the same note tomorrow, I will be able to see a different date and so on. Then you will see the list of edits, the name of the person, and the time. Tapping on any of the items will highlight the edits on the note itself using the same color coding I showed you in the highlights feature. And the third feature is called Mentions. Now you can mention anyone in your shared note using the @ like this. It will show you the contacts that you can mention here in your note, and when you tap on any of them, it will give you this animation with the same color coding for that person. If the other person is using iOS 15, he or she will get a notification on the phone to let them know that there is something important. Last but not least, the quick notes you create on your iPad or Mac, now you can edit and view them from your iOS 15 device. Now let's talk about reminders. And the first change is the support for the tags feature we saw in the Notes app. When you create a new reminder and tap the info button, you will get a new item here called tags. Tapping on it will allow you to choose from the previously created ones or create your own from here. In reminders, you don't need to type the #, just type the name of the tag right away, and once you hit the spacebar, it will be added to the list, and then tap on done. And when you go back to your reminders list, you will be able to see the hashtags right here. It will also show you the same tags browser we have in the Notes app, so you can quickly jump to your notes or filter them. And as expected, when you create a new reminder while selecting some tags at the top, it will automatically populate a new reminder with the same selected tags. You can also create a custom smart list similar to the custom smart folder in the Notes app, but with more options. When you tap on Add List, you will see a new item here called Make into Smart List. Tapping on it will reveal a lot of options. From here, you can choose whatever filters you want, and if your reminder matches these filters, it will be automatically added to the smart list. The first thing you can choose is the tags. For the date, you have multiple options. The first one is any, or you can specify a range. In this case, it will show you the from and to dates. And finally, you have something called relative range. Here you can choose in the next day, hour, week, month, or year, or you can make it in the past. For the time, it will give you some options too, like night, evening, afternoon, morning, or any. For the location, you can choose specific, and in this case, it will show you the saved locations in your maps, or you can tap on custom, it will show you the search, and you can pick the location you want. The next one is called flag, so you can only add the reminders if they are flagged. And last but not least, the priority, and choose between high, medium, low, or any. The third addition is the ability to delete all your completed reminders at once. So for example, when I go to the all list and then tap the ellipses, show completed, now I have a clear button. Once I tap on it, it will ask me if I want to delete all of them or choose a specific range. The Reminders app also got an improved natural language support. So for example, when you create a new reminder and type something like take medicine every morning, it will automatically detect the word every morning and suggest a daily time for you. So it says here, suggested time tomorrow 9 a.m. daily. And when I tap on it, it will set everything automatically. Now let's talk about the notifications, and the first change is in the design. First, you will see bigger app icons, and the notification itself is smaller than before. And when it comes to notifications from people, now you can see the profile picture, and third-party apps can also implement this new change. And under settings, notifications, you will see a new feature called scheduled summary. In a nutshell, this feature will combine all your notifications in batches, and you will receive these batches based on a schedule that you can set yourself. You can set up to 12 summaries per day, and as you see here, I have all of them. You can delete anyone if you want and add it by using the plus sign. And you can choose the time for each summary like this. So let's scroll down to see what else we have here. All the apps installed on your phone will be sorted based on the daily notification average, and it will also show you how many notifications you receive per app per day. And you can also sort the apps based on the alphabetical order like this. Under this section, you can choose which apps to include in your summary, and you will only get notifications from them based on the previously set schedule. You have another option here called Show Next Summary. In this case, it will show the upcoming summary in your notification center before the time comes. And at the very top, you can turn the feature on or off. Another way to add apps to your notification summary is by going to the app notification settings, and you will see the option right here, Immediate Delivery or Scheduled Summary. And when you choose the option, it will give you an edit button here to edit the schedule if you want. And you can also see the time sensitive toggle under the notification settings of each app, which is something I talked about in the focus chapter. Now let me show you how the notification summary will look like. It will show you the time of the summary, its name, it says here your evening summary, and a counter for how many new notifications you received since your last one. And here is how it shows your upcoming summary in the notification center. It says here your next summary. And when the time comes, this is how it looks. You can expand your summary by tapping on the counter, and it will separate all the notifications like this. Or you can collapse everything by tapping on the arrow next to the summary name. The notifications in your summary will be ordered intelligently, and it will show the most important ones at the top. But Apple didn't mention how it will prioritize the notifications in the release notes of iOS 15. Another feature in iOS 15 is the ability to mute notifications for a certain period of time. When you swipe to the left on both versions, you will see a new button here called Options. From here, you can mute notifications from this app for 1 hour or for the rest of the day. You can also view the notification settings or turn off all notifications for this app. In contrast, when you tap on Manage on iOS 14, you will get a floating card instead of an overlay menu. And when you choose to deliver quietly, the action will take place all the time, and you have to change this under settings yourself. While here on iOS 15, it will only take place for 1 hour or 1 day and then revert back to normal. And when it comes to other actions, they are exactly the same but with different wordings. And in some cases, when you tap on Options, it will show you an item called Add to Summary, so you can quickly add this app to your summary from here. And when you tap on Options again, you will be able to revert your action by tapping on Deliver immediately. And the same can be done when you mute notifications. So for example, when I mute this for 1 hour and then tap on Options again, I can unmute from here. And you will also notice the View button has been removed from iOS 15. Another change I noticed here, when you receive a notification from the Messages app and reply directly from the notification center, you will be able to see all the notifications you received today instead of only the last one like before. So I will send myself a message and expand the notification center, force touch, and as you see here, I can only see one message, while here I can see the rest of the day. Now let's talk about Spotlight search. And the first change is the ability to search for photos in your gallery, which is something we couldn't do before on iOS 14. And that includes photos of people, landscapes, animals and pets, and more. You can also share any of these photos directly from Spotlight by tapping on the photo and then tap the share button right here. This feature also works with third-party apps like Google Photos, for example. And sometimes you might get better results when you search for things like movies, for example. When I searched for this movie name, it says here the word movie and I have a movie glyph next to it, which is not the case on iOS 14. And when I tap on both to get the results, you will see totally different pages. On iOS 15, it looks much better. It can show you the actors and the crew. Here you can see all the links for this movie on other websites and more. While here the results are from Wikipedia, and when you tap on it, it doesn't look the same. You can also see the movie glyph showing in the search bar. Now it can also show the shared links in the Messages app. You can also delete apps from here by using the haptic touch. So I have delete app here, which wasn't the case before on iOS 14. And you can also drag and drop apps to your home screen like this. And when you search for a location, the directions and the call buttons now look different, and they also have a description. Now you can access a Spotlight search from your lock screen, but it will give you generic results from the web, and once you unlock your phone like this, everything will be back again to normal. To activate this feature, you need to go to Settings, Face ID and Passcode, enter your passcode, then scroll down until you find something called Today View and Search. Once you turn on the switch, it will work. You can also install apps from the Spotlight search, but the feature doesn't seem to work for me at the moment. And when you search for a business that supports app clips and your region has the feature available, you should see a quick shortcut to quickly install the app clip from the Spotlight search. Now let's talk about widgets, and under Find My there are two new additions. The first one is a widget that can be linked to certain people so you can see their live location all the time on your home screen. The second one will show you the live location of your items with the help of AirTags or other supported accessories. When you add the widget to your home screen, tap and hold on it and then choose Edit Widget. Then choose the person you want to link it to. So I'm going to choose my test account and then go back to my home screen, wait for a few seconds, and you will get the live location right here. And you can do exactly the same for the items widget. Next, there's a new contacts widget that will give you a lot of information about your contacts in no time. When you add the widget to your home screen, you will be able to tell the status of the contact. When you tap on any, you will be able to see the live location map if it's activated, photos from messages, normal messages, email messages, and more. Some contacts might show you even more like photos and emails from the native and third-party apps. There's a new mail widget that you can link to any of your mailboxes and get a quick glance at your emails from the home screen. And if you want to edit the mailbox, simply tap and hold, Edit Widget, and choose the mailbox you want. Another new widget called Sleep that will show your sleep schedule on the home screen, and when you tap on it, it will take you right away to the sleep page in the Health app. App Store got its own widget that will show you daily stories on what's new in games and apps. Game Center got a new widget that will allow you to quickly jump to your recently played games from your home screen like this. And there are some widgets that got redesigned like calendar. Now on iOS 15 you will see a small size month calendar that didn't exist in iOS 14. A new list widget that looks similar to the Up Next one on iOS 14, but it looks a little bit better. And the Up Next widget in iOS 15 will show you 2 days work calendar instead of a list design. The medium size Up Next widget will no longer show you the full month calendar, but it will show you the upcoming events instead. The large size batteries widget now has horizontal line separation that didn't exist before. The files widgets got redesigned as well, the medium size now using a white color instead of light gray, and the bigger one now has a shelf design instead of a grid design. On iOS 15, both widgets can be linked to any folder you have in your Files app, which wasn't the case before. On iOS 14, when you tap and hold, you don't have the option to edit, but here on iOS 15, you have Edit Widget, and when you tap on it, you can choose the location you want. You can either change the default location by tapping the blue folder icon and then choose whatever folder you want, or at the bottom you have an option here called Pick a Folder, and when you tap on it, it will allow you to choose any folder on your device, like this for example. Tap on Done, and then go back to your home screen, and it will be linked. And here is how the redesigned full-size files widget looks like on home screen compared to iOS 14. Weather widgets got also redesigned in all sizes. Here is how they look. They use different colors and also more information in iOS 15, and they are now named Weather Forecast instead of Forecast. Under Clock, there is a new widget called Clock, which will display the current time, and it's using light theme instead of dark theme. The same city widget on both looks different on iOS 15. The Maps widgets on iOS 15 now shows more details compared to iOS 14, so you can clearly see the green areas, the desert, and more. The screen time widgets got redesigned as well. First, in the big size, you will see the chart is smaller and the apps are bigger, which is the opposite to iOS 14. You will also see the Apple ID profile picture in all sizes, which wasn't the case before. Tips widgets got also redesigned. Now the text is filling the entire space instead of having a margin at the top, and that's the case for each and every one. And finally, the editing screen for the stack widget looks different, so let me show you how they look side by side. On iOS 14, you will get a list with handles to reorganize your widgets, while here you can use the drag and drop. And to delete the widget, now you have a minus sign next to each one instead of swiping to the left. The Smart Rotate toggle has been replaced by a circular one at the bottom, and when you tap on it, you will get a new animation. And there is one more addition here called Widget Suggestions that you can turn on or off. So by this, iOS 15 will suggest more widgets to add to your stack in the future. From here, you can also add more widgets to the stack by using the plus sign at the top left corner. So I'm going to choose Notes, for example, tap on Add Widget, and now it got added, which is something you couldn't do before. And there is also a Done button at the top instead of the X button. Now let's talk about the home screen. And the first change is the ability to reorder your home screen pages. Just tap and hold to enter the editing mode, and then tap the pagination dots. Now you can drag and drop the pages the way you want, like this. And if you want to change your default home screen, all you need to do is to put the one you want in the first spot, tap on done, and every time you swipe up, that will be your page. The second change is the ability to add the same app multiple times on your home screen. So for example, I will re-add the Facebook app to my home screen like this, and as you see, they are side by side. Now let's take a look at Apple Maps. The first change is the new interactive globe. When you zoom all the way out, you will be able to see the Earth with enhanced details for the mountains, oceans, forests, deserts, and more. In some cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, and London, you will get the detail of elevation, roads, trees, buildings, and landmarks. It can go as detailed as showing you the turn lanes, crosswalks, and 3D views for the complex interchanges that can help you navigate. The walking directions also got a step-by-step guide shown in augmented reality, but it's only available in limited countries. Another feature in Apple Maps is the route planner. When you search for directions, tap on the Leaving Now chip and it will open the date and time picker, with the ability to plan your trip based on the departure or arrival time. And based on your choice, it will tell you when you should leave or when you are expected to arrive. Next, the search. Now when you search for nearby places like restaurants, for example, you will get plenty of new filters like Open Now, the type of cuisine, the price, takeout availability, sort by the best match, distance, or rating, or even by the available facilities like Apple Pay, wheelchair accessible, delivery, and more. And when you move the map, the results will be updated automatically to match the currently viewed location. When it comes to the transit map, now it shows key bus routes, and while riding transit, a new user interface makes it easy to see and interact with your route using one hand, and when you are approaching the stop, Maps notifies you that it's almost time to leave. You can also pin your favorite transit lines so they always show at the top if they are nearby. The information cards for places got redesigned with bigger thumbnails and buttons, in addition to more icons to make things easier to navigate. The guides page got also redesigned with bigger images and menus for easier navigation. And finally, next to the search bar, you will see your profile picture. Tapping on it will show you all the preferences you need to adjust in the Maps application, like your preferred mode of transit, favorite locations, reported issues, and more. Now let's talk about what's new in the Find My feature. And the first change is the live stream for the family and the friends location. So for example, if your family and the friends are sharing their locations with you, like this one for example, you will get a live stream for their location on the map without any delays. So let's say this person is driving a car. In this case, I will see his photo moving on the map live, similar to what happens when you navigate using the Maps application. And that will give you an immediate sense of direction, speed, and progress. Next, with iOS 15, now you can locate your iPhone even if it's powered off for up to 24 hours. And when you try to power off the device, you will see under the power slider a small text saying iPhone findable after power off. And when you tap on it, it will show you an overlay menu explaining to you how the feature works. And it will give you a button to temporarily turn off finding. Tapping on it will turn off the feature for one time only, and once you power your phone back on, the feature will be reactivated. But if you want to turn off this feature all the time, in this case you need to go to your settings, then tap on your Apple ID settings, then go to Find My, then Find My iPhone, and turn off Find My network. Next, AirPods Pro and AirPods Pro Max now support the Find My network, which means if you left your headphones in a place beyond its Bluetooth range, you will still be able to get its approximate location. And when you navigate to this location, it might help you to be within the Bluetooth range again and to find your headphones by playing a sound. Next, there's a new feature in Find My called Separation Alerts. In a nutshell, this feature will notify you if you left any of your Bluetooth accessories behind. This feature is available on iOS 15, iPadOS 15, macOS Monterey, and watchOS 8. The supported accessories are Apple AirTags and some Find My supported third-party accessories. You still can activate the feature for your Apple Watch by navigating to the Find My app, tap on your Apple Watch and expand the settings, and you will see here an option under notifications called Notify When Left Behind. But for some reason it says not supported. However, it should be supported in the future. However, I can activate the feature on my Apple Watch running watchOS 8, and by this I can get a notification if I left my iPhone behind. To do this, you need to go to the Devices app, then tap on your iPhone, scroll down, and you will see an option here called Notify When Left Behind, and as you see here, it's powered on. And the description says, receive a notification each time you separate from this device. And finally, if your iPhone is running iOS 15 and you decided to activate the lost mode and erase the device remotely, this is the first screen that will show up after the restart. It says here in English, iPhone locked to owner, but it will keep changing the language. So I took a photo to show you the exact wording. It says here, the location of this iPhone can be seen by its owner, and it shows my email address. So this screen might freak out the person who stole the iPhone. Not only this, but now you can track your iPhone even after completely erasing it, which is a very welcomed addition. Now let's talk about Siri. And with iOS 15, it can now process speech and commands on device, which makes it faster and able to control your phone without internet connection. So let's turn on the airplane mode and try some commands. Set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Counting down.
Set the alarm at 9 p.m.
I turned on your 9 p.m. alarm.
Open calendar. Open notes. Turn off airplane mode.
Okay, I turned airplane mode off.
The second feature is the ability to share anything on the screen by saying the phrase send this. Send this.
Who do you want to send it to?
Test account.
Send this photo to test account?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
This feature works with photos, it works with web pages, music, maps, locations, and more. And in case it's not able to share what's on the screen, it will take a screenshot instead, like this.
I can only send screenshots from here. Who do you want to send it to?
Test account.
Send this photo to test account?
The third feature is referring to contacts on screen. So for example, if you are viewing a contact or a conversation, you can place a call or send messages. Reply, did you see the photo?
Your reply to test account says, did you see the photo? Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
Next, announce notifications. If you are using AirPods 2nd Gen or later, now you can let Siri read your notifications and also send the replies for you. To activate the feature, you can go to Settings, Notifications, and under Siri section you will see Announce Notifications. From here you can turn on the switch. The feature also works with CarPlay, so if you have CarPlay set up on your iPhone, you should see another switch here under Headphones. You can also activate Reply without confirmation, and in this case Siri will send your reply without reading back your message. And finally, you can choose which apps can use the feature. The feature will only work if your iPhone is locked, and once you get a message you will hear a chime first, and then Siri will read the message for you. After that, it will keep the mic open for a few seconds to be able to send your replies without the need to say the magic word. Next, Siri can now control your smart home devices at a specific time. But this feature requires a home hub, which means you either need a HomePod or an iPad to act as a home hub for your smart devices, and if you don't have any, this is what's gonna happen. Turn on my office lights at 7 p.m.
Sorry, I can't schedule that without a home hub set up.
Next, maintaining context. Siri can now better understand what's on your screen, so you can ask more advanced follow-up questions. So let me show you an example. Show me the top-rated Egyptian restaurants near me.
The highest rated option I found is Hadouda Masria on 22A Street, which averages 4.5 stars. Want to try that one?
Show me the working hours.
Hadouda Masria on 22A Street is open today from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. Want to try that one?
How long does it take to get there?
Traffic to Hadouda Masria is moderate, so I'm estimating 30 minutes via Al Khail Road. Does that one sound good?
Next, the text-to-speech feature now supports more languages that you can see now on the screen. And finally, mixed English and Indic language support in Siri, which means you can use a mix of Indian English and your native language to say your commands. And this feature is supported in 9 different languages as shown now on the screen. Now let's talk about the home screen. And the first change is the ability to reorder your home screen pages. Just tap and hold to enter the editing mode and then tap the pagination dots. Now you can drag and drop the pages the way you want, like this. And if you want to change your default home screen, all you need to do is to put the one you want in the first spot. Tap on done, and every time you swipe up, that will be your page. The second change is the ability to add the same app multiple times on your home screen. So for example, I will re-add the Facebook app to my home screen like this, and as you see, they are side by side. Now I'm going to talk about some random changes in iOS 15, starting with the drag and drop feature. Now you can drag and drop stuff between your apps, and it works with each and every app. As an example, I'm gonna open Photos, drag some of the photos I have like this, and then go to the home screen, open my notes, and paste everything like this. Next, the App Store. And it got a new feature called In-App Events, which will show you timely events related to apps and games, like game competitions, a live streamed experience, and a new movie premiere. I didn't get any of these in-app events yet on my phone, but we should expect to see something in the future. These events should be discoverable under today's tab, Games, Apps, and Search. Next, the Books app got some enhancements in the search. So for example, when you search for anything, now you will see some suggested books and audiobooks in your search results, and you can also use your voice to start searching. The camera app now supports zoom in quick take videos, so when you start recording the video, all you need to do is to drag your finger up and down. iPhone 12 models and later will get improved panorama shots with better quality. The camera QR code reader now got a new interface that moves with the objects. Next, the keyboard. Now the magnification loop for the cursor and the text selection is back with iOS 15. The quick path typing now works with more languages. They are Dutch, Swedish, and Vietnamese. And when you try to add a new keyboard, now you have the option to search for it using text or voice. Next, Apple Music. And if you are using AirPods Pro or AirPods Pro Max and you have iOS 15 running on your device, when you start listening to Dolby Atmos music like this one, for example, you will get Apple's head tracking feature. For example, here is my AirPods Pro Max. When I start listening to Dolby Atmos music on my iOS 15 device and my phone is on the table and I'm sitting in front of it, when I turn my head like this, the sound coming from the right AirPod will be louder, and when I move it the other way around, it will do the opposite, which will give you the feeling that the audio source is coming from your phone. This feature will only be supported on iPhone 7 models and later. The second change is in the music recognition feature. When you go to your control center and then haptic touch on Shazam, you will see the history of identified songs. You can also swipe left to delete any of them. And when you tap on any of the identified songs, it will take you right away to the music discovery app of Shazam. And as I mentioned before, Apple Music supports the shared with you feature that you can locate under the Listen Now tab. From here, you can start listening to the music or reply back to the contact from here. The contact bubble will also appear in the album or the song page right here. Next, iOS 15 has a built-in authenticator for third-party accounts under settings. So for example, if you are using Facebook, Gmail, or Outlook, and you have the two-factor authentication feature turned on, in this case, you will need to get a verification code to be able to access your account. And in these cases, people usually download third-party apps like Microsoft Authenticator to be able to generate the verification codes for all accounts in one place. But with iOS 15, you no longer need to do this, because now you can go to Settings, then Passwords, then tap on the account you want to generate verification codes for. And you will see a new button here called Setup Verification Code. Tapping on it will give you two options, either to set up using a key or a QR code. This piece of information should be available on your third-party account. In my case, I was using Outlook and I used the Scan QR Code feature. Once I scanned the code, I started to generate verification codes directly on my phone. And here is how it looks. This is my other account, and here are the verification codes I'm getting, and you can see the counter says here it will expire in the next 15 seconds and so on. And the best part is when you try to sign in next time to your account, you will get the verification code right into your keyboard, so you can tap verification code and use your Face ID and you are done, verify. So it's a zero effort process. Next, screen time. And there is a new feature called downtime on demand. When you go to settings, then screen time, then downtime, you will see a new switch here called turn on downtime until tomorrow. Tapping on it will only turn on the feature until the day finishes, and then it will turn off automatically. Also, developers can now use your screen time data in their apps if you give them the access to give you a wider range of parental control tools. Next, the Shortcuts app, and it got a smarter shortcuts editor. Now when you edit any of your shortcuts, you will see a new section here called Next Action Suggestions, which will make it easier for you to build up your shortcuts, which is not the case on iOS 14. And you will see the same when you try to create a new shortcut. It will show you the Next Action Suggestions. Also, when you go to Gallery, you will have a section right here. Shortcuts on iOS 15 now supports cross-device management, so you can build and manage shortcuts on your Mac and the iPad, and they will also sync across your devices. iOS 15 now uses a new Arabic system font that will give you a better reading experience. Next, voice memos. And when you tap on any recording, you will see a new edit button instead of the ellipses, and when you tap on it, you will see new options. The first one is the ability to change the playback speed. You can also skip silence, which means the app will automatically detect the silent areas in the recording and jump right away to the next part. From here, you can also improve the audio quality by using enhanced recording, but on iOS 14 to do this, you have to jump to settings like this. When you go to settings, voice memos, you have audio quality and you can choose between compressed and lossless, while here it's just a switch from the app itself. You will also see a reset button at the top left corner to reset everything back to default settings. And when you change anything in this menu, then dismiss the card, the button will turn into blue to let you know that you are not using the default settings. And finally, now you can share multiple audio recordings at once by tapping on the edit button, then choose the recordings you want, then tap on share. Next, the Translate app. And it got plenty of new changes. The first one is the ability to quickly change the language using this overlay menu by tapping on the drop-down arrow and instead of using the traditional list like before. You will also see a new ellipsis button here. Tapping on it will give you the option to play translations and automatically detect the language. And there is a brand new Conversations tab. From here, you can do live translation between two different languages. First, you can view the translated text side by side, or you can tap on this button and change it to face-to-face. In this case, each person will see their own language better. And you will get more options when you tap on the ellipsis button like play translations, so each person can listen in their own language, or you can activate the auto-translate feature. By this, once you hit the mic, it will start the translation on the fly and it will automatically detect the language of the speaking person and do the translation. So for example, I will hit the mic. This is a test message. Come stai? As you saw, I spoke in two different languages and the translation didn't stop. It picked up the English and the Spanish languages and automatically did the translation for both. And the last option you get is the ability to clear the conversation using this button. And finally, you will get a system-wide translate option every time you select text anywhere in the OS. So for example, here I'm in the Notes app and I'm selecting some text. Now I have the option to translate, which doesn't exist on iOS 14. Tapping on it will give me more options. I can see the translation, I can play the translated text in each language, and I can also replace the currently selected text with the translated one like this. In addition to copying the translation, change language, add your favorites, or open in Translate. Next, the weather. And the first change is in the new animated weather backgrounds. I have the same city on both versions, but I can clearly see the sun on iOS 15 and its position on the screen represents its position in reality. You will also see more realistic animations for the rain and the clouds. Like for example, the rain is hitting this card on the screen and instead of moving all the way down like on iOS 14. It will also show you weather alerts for things like wind and rain, and you can tap on See More to get more information from the web. And when you tap on the map icon here at the bottom left corner, which doesn't exist on iOS 14, it will show you that perception map. As you see here, it will show you the changing in the weather condition for the next 12 hours. You can also change the layer to choose between perception, temperature, and also the air quality. Air quality information is not available everywhere, but I added also California that I can choose here from the list button. And once I do this, this is how the air quality map will look like. And on iOS 15, when you scroll down in the front page, you will get much better looking information. They are presented in bigger cards that makes it easier for you to see the information you are looking for. Next, Apple TV. And it got the shared with you feature that you can access from the Watch Now tab. And now you can link it with the streaming apps in Japan. And you can access the shared with you feature in Apple Podcasts under the Listen Now tab. Next, under your Apple ID settings, then iCloud. And when you go to iCloud backup, now you have the option to backup over cellular connection. And when it comes to gaming, when you connect your iPhone to the Xbox Series X or S wireless controller or the PS5 DualSense controller, and then tap the share button while playing, it will automatically record the last 15 seconds of your gameplay and save it to your gallery so you can share it later with your friends. And for the iPhones that support 5G, the system will automatically prioritize your 5G connectivity over Wi-Fi if your connection is slow or insecure. Next, the Mail app. And it got a new feature under Settings, Mail, then Privacy Protection. When you turn on the switch, it will hide your IP address from the senders, so it will make it harder for them to track your mail activity. Next, Apple Pay. And it got a brand new payment sheet that looks more modern, it has bigger font, and the items are more separated, and instead of using these thin horizontal lines. And in some cases, you might be able to enter the discount codes directly in the payment sheet if it's available on the website. Now let's talk about what's new in the Health app, and the first new feature is called Trends, and it's located under the Summary tab. This feature will automatically track your health data and activities to give you insights about the changes taking place over time. And to access this feature, tap on Health Trends, and you will see some charts here. Like in my case, I'm trending lower for the past 21 weeks when it comes to the steps. And when I tap on this trending item, it will show me a bigger chart. This chart will show me the current trend and also the historical data, so I can compare things and see what's going on. At the top, I have some filters like day, week, month, 6 months, and year. And it will also show you the historical average here to be able to compare the two trends. And when you go back in the summary, you still can see here 5-week average compared to the last 21 weeks. This feature can do the same for a lot other things, like for example your heart rate, blood oxygen, walking steadiness, and more. From here you can also activate notifications for health trends by tapping on Manage Notifications, and you will see the switch right here. So if there is any sudden change in your numbers, you will be notified. The next feature is called Walking Steadiness, which is a new metric available only on iPhone 8 or later. This metric will automatically measure your walking steadiness and give you notifications if it became low or very low. To set up the notifications for your walking steadiness, tap on your profile picture, then go to Health Checklist, scroll down until you find something called Walking Steadiness Notifications, tap on Setup, and it will explain to you what's going to happen. It will track your walking steadiness for the next 12 months, and after that it will give you notifications and suggested exercises to help you improve your walking steadiness. So when you tap on Next, here it will ask you about some details, weight, height, and date of birth. Tap on Next. Let's tap on Next again and turn on notifications. You can also choose to add it to your favorites, so by this it will appear in your summary page. And after activating the feature, now I have the metric available on my summary page, so I can check the numbers from here. Next, the new Sharing tab. From here you can share your health data and notifications with others if you want. You can share them with people or with your doctor. When you tap on the second option, it will show you the steps. When you tap on Next, it will show you the list of supported hospitals, networks, or locations. When you tap on any of them, it will ask you to create an account, to connect, and start sharing your data. But the list is kinda limited now, and it should increase over time. The second option is to share your health data and notifications with people by tapping on Share with Someone. When you do this, it will ask you for the Apple ID to share it with. So I'm gonna choose my test account, and here's the first page I get. It will first tell you that Health can suggest useful topics to share if you are not sure what exactly you have to share with others. And if you want to see these suggestions, tap on the blue button to move to the next step. It will first show you the health alerts you can share, and here we have a lot of things. So I can choose, for example, walking steadiness and low heart rate and high heart rate, and tap on Next. You can also share information about your activities like active energy, activity, exercise minutes, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna choose activity and the energy and tap on Next. The third category is called Heart Health, and from here you can activate blood pressure, resting heart rate, and walking heart rate average. So I'm gonna choose the first two and tap on Next. After that, it will show you some generic topics like blood oxygen, headphone audio levels, mindful minutes, sleep, and weight. So I'm gonna choose blood oxygen and tap on Next. And in the last page, it will show you a summary of all the topics you decided to share with others. And from here, you can also tap on Preview, and this is how it will look like. Then tap on Share. So now the sharing invitation sent to my other phone, so let me grab it to show you how it looks. So here is the sharing invitation received on my other iPhone. When I tap on it, now I can view the invitation. So I'm going to tap on View. So it will first show me the list of alerts and topics that will be shared with me, so I can tap on Accept. After that, it will give you the option to receive updates about this person, and you have the option to choose on or off. So I'm going to turn on, and it says here Invitation Accepted. Tap on Done. So now I have the health information under the Sharing tab. And when I go inside, I can see everything the other person decided to share with me. And if there is any sudden changes, I will receive notifications from the Health app. Now let me show you the new accessibility features of iOS 15, starting with VoiceOver. VoiceOver can now describe your images when you move your finger over the image. To activate the feature, you need to go to Accessibility, VoiceOver, VoiceOver Recognition, then Image Descriptions. Once you turn on the switch, it will start downloading the required files, and in my case, it took 43.7 megabytes. After that, you will see a section called Sensitive Content Output, which means if the image includes any sensitive content, you can choose one of these actions to take place. The first one is called Speak, which will let the VoiceOver feature speak out and let you know that the image includes sensitive content, or you can play a sound or do nothing. You can add additional languages for image descriptions, and you can restrict the feature to only work with certain apps. Now let me turn on the VoiceOver feature to show you how it can describe images. So here is a photo of me, and I will move my finger over the photo to hear the description.
Photo, March 15th. A person wearing a black mask and posing for a photo in front of a body of water. Maybe Emmett.
As you heard, it described the photo really well, and it also knows my name from the Photos app. This feature can also describe objects, text, and the tables within images in more detail, in addition to receipts and nutrition label values in logical order. Next, under Switch Control, Switches, Add New Switch, now you have the option to add sound actions. And it will give you 14 different sounds to choose from. And if you want to hear each one, tap on Practice, then tap on the sound name like this. And once you are familiar with the sounds, tap on Done and then choose one of them. In my case, I will choose the clock sound, and I will assign the home action to it. Then I will go back to turn on my switch control and give it a try. Next, there is a new feature called Background Sounds that you can access under Audio and Visual, then Background Sounds. This feature will allow you to play different types of white noise in the background. These sounds can minimize distractions and help you to focus, calm, or rest, in addition to mask unwanted environmental sounds. To choose the type of noise, tap on Sound and you will get 5 different options like Balanced Noise, Bright Noise, Dark Noise, Ocean, Rain, and Stream. So I'm gonna choose Rain, and once I turn on the switch, the background noise will start. From here, you can also adjust the noise volume. You can choose to keep it running even if you are playing media, and adjust its volume in this case separately. And finally, you can choose to stop sounds when your phone is locked. Next, there is a new accessibility feature called Per App Settings. This feature will allow you to customize the display and text options for a specific app without impacting others. To use the feature, tap on Add Application and then choose the app you want. Then go inside. Here you can choose the text bold or normal. You can make the text larger, like this for example. You can also adjust the colors. In my case, I will choose to invert the colors. And any change I make here will only impact the app I choose. So when I go to my Amazon app right now, you will see everything looks different, but my phone is just normal. And you can also do the same with the text size tool in the control center. So for example, I will open App Store and then I will pull down the control center, tap on text size, and here I have a switch to choose between all apps or App Store only. So when I change the text here, everything becomes bigger without impacting the rest of the apps. And it also works with home screen. So you can change this separately and it says here home screen only. Next, under accessibility, audio and visual, headphone accommodations, now you can import custom audio diagrams for your Apple and Beats supported headphones. To do this, tap on custom audio setup and you will see here the third option is called audio diagram, and the description says use an audio diagram from Health to customize your audio. And when you tap on continue, it will ask you, would you like to add an audio diagram? When you tap on add, it will give you different options like using your camera, use a photo, or a file from your Files app. And the file should be in a PDF format. And when you tap continue, it will ask you for the input method. Once you choose it, you can scan your diagram. By this, your headphone sound will be adjusted in a way to work the best for you. Next, the magnifier tool is now a standalone app that you can access from your home screen, and it got some new options. The first one is the ability to use the back and front camera, and there is a new feature called people detection that you can access from here. This feature will use your iPhone's back camera to detect people around you, and measure the distance between you and people to make sure that you are keeping a safe distance. And as you would expect, this feature is here because of the pandemic, and you can also adjust its settings by going to the settings page of the app, then people detection, and here you can choose the unit. You have meters and feet. You can set a minimum threshold for the distance, and if the threshold exceeded, you can choose to get a sound feedback, speech, haptics, or none. And finally, the voice control feature now supports more languages that you can see now on the screen. Now let's talk about the new features related to the initial setup experience. And the first one is under settings. Now when you go to general and scroll all the way down, you will see a new option called the transfer or reset iPhone instead of reset iPhone only like before. And then when you go inside, you will see a new card here says prepare for new iPhone. This new feature will allow you to back up your current iPhone's data to the cloud even if you don't have enough storage. And once you get your new iPhone and finish that transfer process, everything will be deleted from Apple servers. This feature will make your life much easier when you migrate to a new iPhone. And when you tap on get started, it will show you the steps. It will first upload your apps and data to the cloud, and then you can use your new iPhone to start the transfer process, and finally it will show you the trade-in value for your device. And once you tap on done and then go to your iCloud settings, then iCloud backup, you will see a new backup started automatically to save your data to the cloud. Now I installed iOS 15 on my iPhone XR, and I will use it as if it's my new iPhone to show you what's new in the initial setup process. The first change is the new hello screen of iOS 15, so let's swipe up to continue. After finishing the pairing process with my current iPhone, it gave me the option to transfer the data from iCloud using the prepare for new iPhone feature I showed you earlier, or directly transfer from this iPhone with the estimated time for both. So I will choose the iCloud option to show you how it works. Then I got a screen says make this your new iPhone, showing me the categories of data it will transfer, and the best part is I can expand each category to see what exactly it's going to transfer, which is something new to iOS 15. Then I continued with the steps until the transfer process started, and now my current iPhone shows a card to help me make my iPhone ready for trade-in, sold, or given away. With the blue button says what's next for this iPhone. If you dismissed this card, you will find it on the front page of settings later. First thing it will ask you to do when you tap on get started is to erase your iPhone. Then you can follow the on-screen instructions to identify the trade-in value, but if you choose not to erase anything, it will cancel the whole process. And if you are going to transfer your data from an Android phone, you will see a couple of new changes. The first one is the new QR code button at the top right corner, which will show you the Move to iOS app code to quickly scan it using your Android's phone camera and download the app. Also, the Move to iOS feature can now transfer your photo albums, accessibility settings, plus the files and folders, which wasn't the case before. The only thing I'm not going to be able to talk about today is FaceTime, because unfortunately it's restricted here in the UE, but I'm sure you will find tons of other videos talking about its features. So that's pretty much it for today. Those are all the new changes I spotted in iOS 15, and in case if I missed anything, I will definitely create a follow-up video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my video, and if you do, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.